Quick review of using Vertex form, and when you don't have a graph and you need to either create the graph or find information from just the equation. So again, quick review. A determines whether it's being opening upwards or downwards. So if it's positive or negative, the value of A, it's going to positive, it's going to open upwards, and negative, it's going to open downwards, the parabola. The size of A also determines if it's getting compressed or stretched. So we talked about the base equation is y equals x squared. Let's just pretend it looks like that. So if A is greater than 1, your parabola is going to get stretched. So it's going to look almost thinner, like you're pulling it from the top. And if A is a decimal, so if it's between 0 and 1, then it's going to be compressed and it's going to look wider than that. So green, brown. H, so we take the opposite value from what's in there, and H is going to say if it's moving right or left, and K is going to say if it's moving up or down. And that's the actual vertex of our graph. So when we have the base parabola, it's exactly at the origin, the vertex, and H and K determine if the vertex moves left or right or up and down, which then tells us that the vertex is HK. From there, we know that symmetry is H, and that the max or min value is K. So if it's opening down, we're going to have a max value, and if it's opening up, we're going to have a min value. So let's look at the homework question, one of them, and just quickly refresh on how I would go through the thinking process. So here's the question. I have the equation. And for me, I would start with the vertex. I know that there is no H value and that the K value is 8. So I'm going over 0, up 8, and I'm putting my vertex. Now, personally, I'm going to recognize that my A value is -2. So I know that my direction of the opening is down because of the negative. And it's about down. And that means so I know it's going to be a max value, so my optimum value is going to be at y equals 8, which then and again, this is my thinking process, it makes more sense for me to picture my max or min, and then that refreshes me that my symmetry is my x value or my h value, where x is going to equal 0. So step pattern, again, we went through this. It's 1, 3, and 5 created from our base. If you don't remember where the 1, 3, 5 came from, go back to the other video. A here is -2. I'm just going to use 2 because we already know it's opening down. You can keep the negative value in. Either way will work. So it's going to be 2, 6, and 10. So I took this A value and I multiplied it by 1, I multiplied it by 3, and I multiplied it by 5. So I'm going to graph it before I look at my y and my x intercepts, and I'll show you that afterwards. So I go over, from my vertex, I'm going to go over 1 and down 2, over 1 and down 3, nope, down 6, over 1 and down 6, over 1 and down 10, 2, 4, 6, down 10. And then I can connect that through. And then I can do that going left 1, down 2, over 1, down 6, over 1, down 10. And there we have our